Good evening, Nick. It is Friday, and you're in Europe. And if Eddie Izzard was correct back in 1999, I hear that's where the history comes from. Although, if that is technically true, then there's a lot of explaining to do about, like, I don't know, the other 6.5 billion people in the world and all their years. But that's not really relevant because the joke's kind of funny and also kind of terrible at the same time. But whatever. Nick, you are sort of right, but at the same time, you are sort of wrong, which is my favorite answer to things. So, Nick, while you were partially committed to the answer of Texas, which was definitely wrong, you ultimately concluded that it must have been Alaska because they were the last state. But that is technically right, but technically not correct at the same time. So, Nick, the last state to enact compulsory education law was the state of Mississippi in 1918. That's what I thought was funny, and I don't know. Mississippi jokes. Alaska technically passed its law afterwards in 1929, but it was a territory when it passed it. So it was not a state that passed the compulsory education law, it was a territory. So you're technically right because it was last, but you're also technically wrong. You're also definitely wrong because Alaska was not the last state of the Union. That was Hawaii. Sorry, man. I gotta call you out. And you're definitely right in the idea that like schools teach people to regurgitate information. Although that's the point that I was like trying to avoid making in my last video because it's like discussed to death, and I just can't. I just don't think I can talk about the regurgitation of information anymore, Nick. It's so overdone. Plus, you also did in your last video, so I don't think I really need to add anymore. But Nick, I will add an additional criticism to public schooling and sometimes private schooling or homeschooling because I mean, they can make mistakes too. I mean, it's not mutually exclusive to public schools, but they don't always instill a love of learning. I mean, Nick, you're not getting a failing grade for not knowing which state class passed compulsory education, but you and I were both interested enough in it that we just took steps to go out and find out stuff for ourselves, or to guess stuff, or to be amused by learning. And I don't always see that in schools, or even usually see that in schools. I mean, Nick, I graduated third in my class in high school, and you know how much I liked learning when I was in school? I didn't. The last place I wanted to be every day was in a classroom, listening to my teacher's lecture because it was boring and uninteresting and felt pretty vapid, and I just didn't like it. But I loved learning. I loved reading books that were mostly informative. I wasn't a big novel reader, but I liked informative books with facts. Like I used to read so many books about Greek mythology just for fun, and the Civil War just for fun. And so my learning was outside the classroom mostly. It happened to translate to good grades in the classroom, but most of my learning that I loved outside the classroom. And that's what I hate most about schools, Nick, is because they just kind of push you through without making you love things. And if you don't love the learning, you're not really gonna learn it. I know 10,000 things like Wan Shi Tong because I'm interested in 10,000 things, not because somebody told me to learn 10,000 things. Yeah, well, but I'm really looking forward to seeing like video of Europe and like non-American soil. I think it's gonna be really neat, Nick, and I'm really looking forward to learning about some of the stuff that you have to show me from your trip. See you Monday.